Well, good afternoon, Nevada. We have far to go, too. We got a big election coming up, and I tell you what, it is critical because if we can't get some sense into our elected leaders and some sense back into this United States of ours, I mean, we are so far off the sense track, it's just unbelievable to me. I can't fathom it. When you have a person like Hillary Clinton, that right now apparently is leading in the polls like 7% on one, 10% on another. That is just mind boggling because there has never been in my lifetime a worse candidate than her, ever, ever, ever. She is pathetic. But, anyways, we need some members here at the herd, and we need to get this concept of a revolution, if you will, a grassroots movement, call it what you will, kind of like what the Tea Party was at one point. And they started out like gangbusters, and then what happened was the two parties, existing parties, the DNC and the RNC, actually joined forces to combat the rise of the Tea Party. They spent millions of dollars just saying all kinds of lies about them, that they were full of racists, that these people were all something else. They'd have rallies and they'd be misreported as 1/10 of the people there, that they left the places in messes and everything. I went to some of those rallies, and I'll tell you what, people were picking up their trash and throwing it away as they left. We'd leave those places cleaner than when we showed up. They just lie. If we can't get this country to the point where things start coming out again, where they have common sense and it makes sense, we're done. I'm sorry to say, we're just done. We're beyond hope. If we elect the worst candidate ever with the least qualifications, and the Democratic Party itself, the whole entire party, is made up of disingenuous, lying dirtbags. Everything that comes out of their mouths are distortions. They lie about everything because their platforms, their policies, they don't work. They've been tried over and over again over the centuries, and they always fail. They always fail. But the policies sound good to dumb people, and their base is dumb people. So they cater to that. That's the only chance they got, is low information, low income people that need handouts. They need food stamps. They need welfare. This is what cements their base, the people that vote for them. And then just to be sure that that's enough, they import these kiddies strapped to the tops of trains, and all these Syrian refugees and what refugees and that refugee and these people. There's trash cans, I guess, down by our border on the Mexican side of the line that are full of documentations from Mideast countries and Bosnia, Albania, and all these places over there in the Mideast and all these countries with terrorists. The trash cans are full of identification, reflective of the type of people that are coming across our borders. They throw away their identification so that they can come into the country, and anonymous, because if anyone ever checked out who they were, they'd probably find out that they were card-carrying Islamic fundamental terrorists, is what they'd find out. But of course, we're too dumb to really do any research on who these people are. And just the fact that we're letting them in at all, what is the need to let anybody in? Why are we doing this at this particular time? We're at war with people that want to cut our heads off, and we allow people that we don't know into the country. Can we be any stupider? Give us a call over here, 702-493-5222, and tell me how we can be any stupider than the people that are leading this country, like Obama And these wannabes like Hillary's, Bill Clinton's, these are all despicable people that they're against America. And beside that, they're stupid. Like Donald Trump says, we're led by a bunch of stupid people. This is idiotic to let people into this country. We don't know who they are. And they're throwing away their identification before they try to come over the border so that we won't find out who they are. I mean, this is just obscene. And this country's in trouble. We're letting people in that are fundamental religious fanatics. And these people have a difference in their mindset. They've been brainwashed. And their whole makeup is they've been indoctrinated to think that anybody that doesn't believe in their religion and their beliefs and their caliphate and this and that are evil people that need to be exterminated. So they're out to kill us because that's what they've been taught. Their religion teaches them that. Now, is that the kind of religion that we want to be associated with? Not me. And I don't want to be in a country that allows these people free reign to just come in over here. What do we have a country for? We built this country and we gave it a chance. The forefathers did with the Constitution. And now we're slowly losing away. And like the forefathers said, you have a good chance to have a great country, a republic here, if you can keep it. And that's the problem, is you have to rely upon people to keep anything, and they get corrupted, and then here comes the cancer, and then you're on your way out. Instead of on your way making something great, you're on the way to making something obsolete and a failure. And these are our choices. You're either on the side of productivity and increase in our standard of living and the betterment for us and the world, because when we're doing well, the world does well. When there's a catastrophe in the world, we're the first ones there trying to help people out. That's what we do. We invented the bomb back in the 40s, and we were at war with the Chinese, or rather the Japanese, I'm sorry, and we ended that war. We dropped 2 bombs and ended the war within a few days. What if Hitler had the bomb and we didn't? What if Russia had the bomb and we didn't? Or China, or Japan, or any of these world-hungry takeover type ideology, the Mideast, Iran, Iraq. What if they were the only ones that had the bomb? Can you imagine what would have happened to this world? We'd be toast. We'd be all speaking Iranian, or whatever the hell we would be, or German, or something like that. So you have to use your head. There's evil, evil, evil things in this world. Any world, and there's a lot of them out there. Believe me, folks, this universe of ours never ends. There's nothing that ever ends what we're in here. It's space. What could end space? Nothing. If there's something out there that's on the other side of that wall, what is it? Nothing. This thing that we're involved here goes forever and ever and ever. Space never ends. So there is an unlimited amount of worlds that have all the ingredients that we have here for life, and it's unlimited. So there are just unlimited amounts of other planets out there that have life. If you think we're the only ones, you're in the wrong town to be living in a gambling town, because you don't know odds. And I can do a little math in my head with the common sense that I have, and I know when you're not limited to something, there's been other worlds, and these other worlds have gone through turmoils, and they've died out. The dinosaurs, I think, all died out because of some catastrophe. There weren't people around then, or they would have been died out too. So everything changed. A meteorite or whatever it was hit the Earth, and that killed everything that was here. Then after however much time, things started to evolve again, and then here comes man. And, we came from fish or wherever we came from, we evolved, and that's how things happen. But then we get these brains in our head, and then I guess we have this fatality type mentality where we try to destroy ourselves. And certain people try to destroy themselves quicker than others. And certain people are greedy and try to take over the world like a Hitler or somebody like that. And you end up with these totalitarian uh, uh, people that we have to deal with. We've had 2 world wars. The last World War was where we dropped those 2 bombs, Nagasaki and Osaka, or what the hell was it? And that ended the war. 2 bombs, that's it. War over. So that saved lots and lots of lives because it ended a war. And that war wasn't going to end anytime soon, but we ended it. And we're coming from the side of good. We didn't start that war. The Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor and brought themselves into the war, and we ended it. And that's the way you have to treat maniacs. This Mideast has been fighting between themselves for thousands of years, and they're not going to change. Their religion has taken over their minds and their souls, and it's a distorted religion. And it's just got to the point where we've had so many bad leaders in this country, and with power-hungry people that have lied to us, distorted things, have tried to take over this country, and they've succeeded to a large extent because they've dumbed down the young people, and we've been educated very poorly, and we've been educated with an agenda. And that's despicable because the agenda is not American. It's not what this country is supposed to be built on. We're supposed to be producers, and we're supposed to be the leaders. And we have been, and we can be again. But we're going to have to get smart. That's all we need to do is just pay attention. When someone lies to you, have enough common sense between your ears that you can tell it's a lie. And for me, it's easy because I look at what the Democrats say. First of all, right off the bat, I know whatever they just said is a lie. So all I have to do is figure out what the opposite of what they just told me is, and then that'll be the truth. And then if I could run to the window and make a bet real quick, man, oh man, I would rule the world because I'd have all the money. I mean, there's just certain truths of this world you have to live to rely upon. And when the Democrats say something, when Hillary Clinton or Bill Clinton or Barack Obama or any of those people say anything to you, you know one thing for sure, what they just told you is a lie. You can keep your doctor. We're going to lower the cost of the health care and all these things that were fundamental lies when they were told, and they're even more so today. And I think we can see that which direction this Obamacare, whatever you want to call it, Nancy Pelosi, the Affordable Care Act. What a bozo. What's affordable about it, Nancy? Can you tell me, you moron? I mean, these people are despicable. That Jim Clyburn the other day, giving his little speech about the Orlando massacre down there by a guy screaming into his phone to 911, ISIS this and ISIS that, and whatever the hell they spew out of their mouth. I mean, that's on the recording of the cell phone that our illustrious leaders like Obama and Loretta Lynch and all these people that marched to Obama were redacting the information that was recorded in the 911 call. What kind of country have we become? I know when we're dealing with foreign enemies that we can't always tell them exactly what we're doing. That's fine. But when you start redacting things that would be negative in my mind to these foreign enemies to get this information out, they're trying to redact certain things to protect our enemies. These people are our enemies. The leaders of this country, like an Obama, that will not call radical Islam for what it is. He is a radical himself, and he's probably on their side of every issue. And this guy should be immediately thrown out of office. He's been as detrimental to this country as any prior wars we fought or anything else. This guy is a menace. And Hillary Clinton is, I don't know. I see absolutely nothing there. I thought Obama was an empty suit. Hillary Clinton is just a complete, uh, she's just inadequate on any front. She has nothing to say except delusional crap. You know, she came under fire when she went into Bosnia, or, you know, all these things are just lies. The Benghazi lying to families of dead soldiers about the video. I mean, this is just despicable. I think Trump's was one of the PACs or somebody is running an ad now on Hillary Clinton where this guy asks her, have you ever lied? I never meant to. What the hell does that mean? I mean, she got a lawyer stamped across her whole body? I mean, how can you say, oh, I've never meant to? I mean, what the hell kind of answer is that? I mean, the right answer is no. Of course, she couldn't pull that off either because of her history. We know what this person is. I know what she is. But this 47% of the American people have been dumbed down so much that they really, literally, I guess, don't know. And I've done radio shows here where people being interviewed are saying just unbelievable things to me, but being nice, I don't want to confront them. But I do, I think, expose them for what they are, and the listeners can make up their own mind of what they just heard and on the herd. But that's who we are, is the herd. We're trying to amass people together so that we have a bigger chance of being heard. And the more people we get, the better we'll be out there and known. And we can keep track of the solutions that our guests and our members and people calling into the show want to make. We have a computer program set up to where we keep track of what your solutions are. And the number one running solution has been for a while now is to get rid of the political parties. These are corrupt organizations that exist for one thing and one thing only, and that's to steal the vote away from the American people by special interest groups. The parties, the RNC, the DNC, are controlled by money. And the truth be known, both parties are probably controlled pretty much by the same source of money. They buy both parties. Donald Trump did that when he was building buildings and needed, various things done from a government standpoint. You just contribute to the elections of both sides, and then you're one of the chosen few, so you get what you want. That's why Hillary showed up to Donald Trump's wedding, because she was told to by Donald Trump, one of someone that had supported her with money, and that's what Hillary's all about, is the money. The Clinton Crime Foundation has raised millions and millions of dollars since they were in the White House. And Bill Clinton, as any ex-president does, when he first gets retired, shall we say, people contact them up and want to try to entice him to do speeches and whatnot to their groups of people. And they'll pay, $20,000, $40,000, $50,000, probably dependent upon how popular you were as a president, and maybe even by what you had to say, if it fits the group's mantra that you're meeting or giving the speech to. So Bill Clinton would get, I don't know what his original speaking fee was, but I can tell you this: it wasn't those $700,000 or $800,000. Never been a president in the history of the world that's gotten money like that for giving a speech. But Bill Clinton did get $750,000 from the Chinese communists to make a speech. And at the same time he was getting that, his wife, the famous Hillary Clinton, was Secretary of State. And she was negotiating with the Chinese through the American system and Department of Justice or what have you, and or Department of Defense, whatever the Chinese were negotiating with, uh, they ended up basically getting what they wanted. If you look at the record and which way Hillary Clinton steered everything, if Bill Clinton got a nice big speaking fee, like 750,000, the Chinese would get what they wanted. Uh, Maybe other monies were raised by special interest groups that didn't want a particular deal to go through. You follow that money, you follow the trail of it, and you'll find out that that money was put up when Hillary Clinton was in a position to do something about another negotiation that was going on. And maybe the special interest group, where Bill went and gave a speech, was anti whatever this deal was going to be. And lo and behold, guess what? Hillary Clinton votes against it or whatever, so the deal doesn't go anywhere, and they got what they want. Why? Because the Clintons are for sale and always have been. When they were in the White House before, they were selling overnights in the Lincoln bedroom. They were selling seats on Ron Brown's plane. I think it was the Secretary of Commerce or something. And he would take off and go to like China and other places, India maybe, to negotiate business deals. And he'd take with him business people from various enterprises here in the United States that all paid a big fee, a big campaign contribution to get a seat on that airplane. And they'd go over on a bribe junket or whatever. And this is the way this country's gone on for years and years and years. And we thought we put up a president, somebody that's strong, somebody that has a history, somebody that has money, that would go a long way to help straighten everything out. And that's what we're trying to do. And we all need to thank God we got an opportunity to get a guy like Donald Trump here that's completely oblivious and not special interest need not apply. And if they do apply and Donald Trump takes their money, Donald Trump tells them right up front they're not going to get anything for it. So if they want to donate, fine, appreciate it. He'll do what he can do to make America great again, and that's what he's doing. But unlike Hillary Clinton, he's not selling out the United States to do what these special interests are asking. These crimes that Hillary Clinton committed while hubby Bill is getting all this money to feather their nest is all traceable. And the events that happen and the timelines fit everything like a glove. And this is what was going on. There's no doubt about it. Now, Comey or whatever, the FBI guy and the Department of Justice have to be able to have pretty much enough evidence that this went on. They should have some very definitive statements from various people that they've interviewed. I know some of them have taken the fifth, and that's always a good sign when there's an investigation going on that people start taking the fifth. You know you're onto something there. And there's just no question that Hillary Clinton is absolutely the most crookedest person to ever run for office. Now, when a Republican runs into a little bit of trouble, and when I say a little bit, it doesn't take much, just a little speck of dust someplace, and everybody starts screaming, and then the other mantra they shoot out there, well, it's the appearance of an impropriety takes so much of your time away from you and your job or what you're supposed to be doing that you can no longer effectively serve, like, for example, as Secretary of State, because just the appearance of impropriety is too much for you to overcome, and you're going to be too distracted. So you need to resign, and we need to get someone else in there. Well, it should go true for everybody, like Obama. I mean, what this man's done since he's been president is criminal. And as a matter of fact, the Supreme Court weighed in the other day in a 4-4 decision. So technically they didn't do anything, but that showed me something that needs to be addressed, and that is the nonsensical way that we have our judiciary set up, to where we have one Supreme Court with 9 justices for all federal actions in this country. One person can make the difference. And now we have a 4-4 split, if you will. So half the people, you got to be very careful. One of the decisions they made the other day reverted everything back to the Fifth Circuit, which has been over the years one of the most realistic circuits I think there is. They seem to come out with common sense rulings that make sense to me. And they're a pretty good court with a pretty good reputation. Well, they decided, the Fifth Circuit did, that this Obama executive order where he signed saying that 4 million illegal immigrants can stay in this country and get work cards and so forth and become part of America at some point. You know, that's just an unbelievable situation. And man, we got to really, really be careful. So he signs an order allowing that to happen. And Fifth Circuit says, wait a minute, hold on here. You can't do that. Congress is the only body that can do that. So Obama loses. And but we have a very scary situation where we have a Supreme Court right now made up of 4 liberals and 4 conservatives. And that's as dangerous as it'll ever get. These are pro whatever they are, and they're going to fight to the death of getting rid of the influence of these parties. But we have to do that. We're not going to have a country anymore. We've been around for over 200 years, and we're not going to get much older because we're going to fall off the cliff. And we have to be very, very diligent and make sure that the people we elect to offices in this land are qualified and that they're not lying to us. And we just have to make that determination. If enough people paid attention to what's really going on, we can win this, and we can win a lot from here on out, because we have to realize where the problem is. Like Ronald Reagan used to say, the government is not the solution, the government's the problem. And that's true. Government, I don't know that they've ever worked anything out, except for a little something here and a little something there. But you take these congressmen and everything with their sit down the other night, complaining about these guns, and then that Jim Clyburn character completely making himself just look like an idiot. But these people are such idiots, they don't know when they're looking like an idiot to people that have sense. I mean, these people, I wouldn't look at them one time, let alone 2 times. They're absolute morons. And we've got to get them out of office. We have to keep them out of office, but we have to have an infrastructure that's set in concrete around here. And nobody gets through that inset unless they get something, to add. And we can't have any more of these morons running our country, because look at the results. This is we're so in the wrong direction, and with no real hope of getting out of this unless we elect a Donald Trump. If we elect that one man, and then follow up with getting the Congress and the Senate in the right dimensions, then I think we'd have a real shot at getting this country straightened out. I know we can. My only fear is that these people that have a tendency to vote, half of them about shouldn't even be voting ever, because they don't know what they're doing or who the candidates are or anything else. I remember in Manchester, New Hampshire one year, I was standing at the polls watching these people in line voting or whatever, and they asked a man, who's he voting for? And he mentioned the name Romney. And he rattled off a bunch of names in quick order. And well, okay. and then he went to the lady standing behind this guy and asked her, "Who are you voting for?" And she said, "Oh, I'm voting for the president." Well, like that was a big deal, okay. And then, why are you voting for him? Well, because he's a nice man. Now, first of all, that was a lie, totally non-factual, and B, the outcome's been despicable. So what's nice about him? But she got elected, so 2 years in, or he, Obama, ends up winning the election, and you have women like this that are voting because he's a nice man, and we got 4 more years of absolute devastation. A lot more laws signed by this Obama character that shouldn't be laws. And it's just absolutely an out of control situation. And it's pathetic. But, anyways, this is where we're at. Give us a call at 702-493-5222. And please let us know what your solutions are for this problem. One of our main solutions is we eliminate both parties. They're gonzo. And we can replace it with something else. We can just replace it with some kind of online vote. But anyways, the truth of the matter is get grouped up, so the bigger we can be, the more clout we have. And we can have sister organizations and brother organizations. We can have people all over the country as a part of this movement, and they can call themselves what we call ourselves. They can come up with their own name and just be associated with perhaps the herd, a bunch of people that want to be heard with their ears. And then once they are, and there's so many of them, they also become an HERD, like a herd of buffaloes. So we want to be heard to be what we're going to become. And when we get that far, there's going to be a lot of problems, because kings have lost their heads over less. And we have to do this for the betterment of not just our country, but that's for the betterment of the world, because we're probably the only country that can keep this country and keep this world alive and straight. So give us the chance. Come on, America, get back in gear, and let's keep this thing going. And we can, and we will. And this is not rocket science, but it's going to take people. And all you really have to do, people, call into this show for one. How tough can that be? 702-493-5222. If you're calling from out of state, you can use 800-833-2345. And, just pay attention, because it's very, very important. We can't let people like Lurch, John Kerry, remain in any position of power. We can't ever let someone like Hillary Clinton get in charge of anything. This is a despicable, corrupted official who landed in Bosnia under heavy fire. This chick wearing the red cape, our Secretary of State. Wow, what a great job she did. Until we showed the real film, and you had a bunch of kids running up giving her roses or something. That's the Taliban giving us people. So pay attention, folks. Look what just happened over in England. I think the English people woke up and said they were tired of having Brussels dictating to them what kind of hair dryer they were able to use, what kind of teapot. Those English, they like their tea. They probably pretty fussy about their teapots too. And they just had enough. Our illustrious President Obama was over there talking to the head of the English country. Uh, what's his name? Campbell? I don't know. Anyways, he's on his way out because I think he resigned today or said he was going to step down in October. And Obama was over there touting him and touting that he wanted this EU to remain in the EU. That's our Obama over there flying around in Air Force One. He's got to go someplace every single day. And today he's out in Palo Alto, I guess in California, giving a speech to some up-and-coming entrepreneur type organization out there, pep up the boys. And he's saying things like going back to the old "you didn't build that" type days, where you know, you need to be an entrepreneur, you need that success, and what you need is you also need the tools to be able to do what you need to do. And to get that, you get it from the Clinton character. She's going to give it to you, you know? Come on, wake up. It's never, ever going to happen. These people make these empty promises like they're King Santa Claus, and then when time comes to do it, they don't do it. And they never meant to do it. They wouldn't know how to do it. They just put out sound bites that sound good. That's what all politicians do. They're a bunch of phony baloney, illegal, distortionists and liars. It can't last this way. We have to get this country back. And I was glad to see what happened in England. I think it's just not going to happen overnight. I think the opening bell of our stock market might have started off 700 in the hole or what have you, at least 500. But I think last night at the end of the day, the early market forecasts or whatever had addressed the fact that we're going to take a $700 hit on our stock portfolios. That's if each share of stock's only worth $1, I guess. But regardless, we've got to be vigilant, and we have to know what's going on. And really, when you think about it, folks, I know you're busy. You got 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs, trying to keep up with the Obama economy, which is pathetic. But you need to just pay attention. Listen to the people that are telling you the truth. Listen to Donald Trump. How could he ever be a worse president than what we have now? I don't see it. As a matter of fact, I can pretty readily see that he might go down in history as the best president we ever had. There's certainly been no one as qualified as him to be president. Obama snuck in on all these these educational type passes that they were giving out, that everybody got a hold of one. And so what good are they when that many people can get them? You kind of lose the cream in the crop, so to speak. And they've all been marginalized. So, but like I said before, this is not rocket science. We can straighten this country out. We can do it. And we just need leadership at the top, and then we need to supply leadership from the bottom up. And people of community after community have to get together and make sure that the federal government cannot overreach them and get to them in their communities and do things like stupid bathroom crap or, various metal things. And it's just there's things that we need to just be very, very careful of. Hillary Clinton is the biggest liar that's ever come down the pipe. Bill Clinton there, remember that? Oh, depends on what the word is. And the Bimbo eruption squad leader, Hillary, running around, threatening Catherine Wiley and Broderick and Paula Jones, and Monica Lewinsky. Uh, this whole administration of the Clintons back in the 90s was pathetic, just absolutely pathetic. And then when they leave the White House, going off towards Chappaquiddick or whatever, they took a lot of stuff from the White House that wasn't nailed down. Maybe some stuff that even was nailed down. I don't know. I heard they were taking all the valuables like the China and things. They had taken, for a joke, I guess, the W's off of the keyboards on all the computers. I mean, these people they're slime balls. And they got caught doing this, can you imagine? And now today, here we are considering Hillary Clinton for some position of power to be the president of the United States. And you got to be looking in the mirror at yourself going, have I gone mad? I mean, this is the worst person ever. I used to accuse the Democrats in the last couple of cycles as using a dartboard. And they'd throw the darts, and wherever they landed would land on a candidate name, and they would just pick them because I don't know where these candidates, where their experience was to such a level that would qualify them to be anything. I look at the Al Gore, who was a complete bore. I mean, oh my God, that guy was terrible. But we end up with Gates and Vince Foster Gate. Whatever happened to Vince Foster Gate? Whatever happened to the troopers and other people that had been around the Clintons, the Rose Law Firm? McDougal died of a heart attack, I think it was, in his prison cell just a few days before he was to be interviewed by some national news show. I want to say 60 Minutes, but I'm not sure about that. Or even Dateline, I'm not sure about that either. But, you got to just pay attention, folks. You got to be able to look at what's going on around you. That lady that got a free house from Obama in '08 when Obama was running for the, lie tour. I wonder what happened to that lady. I didn't see her in 2012. I hope to see her this year just to see how things are going. Because it's important to keep informed. You don't have to spend every waking moment analyzing everything. You just need to pay attention and ask yourself a few key questions. Like right now, we have two candidates, is what this is boiled down to, until the FBI decides to do their job effectively. But let's say we end up with Hillary Clinton on one side and Trump in the other, whatever. You got to line them up and vote for Trump because we need leadership. We can't take anything else in that White House right now, especially after the time that we've been through for the last 7.5 years, where every single thing that's been done has been done in the wrong direction. Cash for clunkers. How did that work out? Taking running cars off the streets that were working and running and crush them. Smart. We pay for them and then we crush them. Brilliant. Who comes up with these economic plans? Nancy Pelosi? Like the unemployment where $1 outgo is going to bring back $1.79. Is that the kind of genius leadership we need? One has to ask themselves that. I mean, where did that lady come from? And maybe worse now, where the hell did she go? It's quite the situation. It was refreshing to see England and knock Brussels around a little bit. Thought they were going to control the English beyond today and the teapot regulation. It's When you're run by dumb people, you don't have a chance. It's really hard in this world to make it as it is. You have so many fractions against you. And these are powerful people. We used to be a lot more powerful than we are now, but we can come back. With the right leadership, we can come back. Look at the way we do things. Let's say, I don't want to pick on anyone in particular, but let's say XYZ company builds planes, and they build the baddest and the best there is. Well, the government goes to them and they want to buy 865 trillion. Well, I don't know what the number is, but they want to buy a lot of airships and fly over across the country and drop these soldiers off. Uh, this is how we need to pay attention. We need to just follow, use our head, use our noodles, and make sure we pick the right people. And if they lie to us, we need to get rid of them, and we need to get rid of them quick. Because the people we vote for, they get hijacked. Let's say they go to Washington, first day on the job, they get taken out to lunch by one of the lobbyist hitmen or insider hitman or whoever, takes this party out to lunch, this newly elected congressman and or senator, and they get handed an envelope at lunch. And, oh, what's this? Just put it in your pocket, it's fine. You'll be getting one of those every month. And there's a number in there to call in case you do. Now, if you look it up, try to find the number, yeah, I may have had it taken that way so we could figure out at the end of the day how many people are going to line up on the right side of the aisle. This is what worries me, because the Democrats are so specious and so crooked. They've fixed things. Look at Debbie Wasserman Schultz's comments about the DNC and what this election, the way they fixed it. Her comment was about these super delegates. Oh, we came up with that to make sure that we don't get in a position where any grassroots movements like the Tea Party has any influence on our nominees for president. So in other words, she just said to the American people that the DNC is fixed. And these super delegates was their idea of how to fix it. How nice of her to be so truthful, huh? Probably one of the most truthful things she's ever said. But she didn't mean to. These people are such morons that they don't understand what they're saying when they say it. That she let the cat out of the bag. She is just terrible. This Debbie Wasserman Schultz is a hack. And she is one of the worst, if not the worst. And this is what's attracted to the Democratic Party, are just inebriate liars, pathological. And this is what we have. We have to, boy, we got to really pay attention in this election. We have an opportunity, the best I've seen in my lifestyle, to get a candidate who's qualified, who's done many, many good things for his own benefit, for his family, for his employees, stockholders, what have you. He's done a great, great job. There's been a couple of hiccups along the way, maybe bankruptcy. But what was the cause of that bankruptcy? It was probably things like junk bonds through Michael Milliken or whatever, when he was playing around in Atlantic City. And when that started off was a time coming out of another liberal administration like Jimmy Carter, where inflation rate had gone up to 21%, as did the interest rates. And these hotels, and the only way you could get anything done was to borrow these junk bonds that had an interest rate on them 14, 15, 16%. It's outrageous. But that was the market. That's what the market would bear. So that's what you had to do if you wanted to do something. Or the only alternative was do nothing. So Donald Trump, being the businessman that he is, he had to do, so he did. And then it came that the interest rate crashed, and all these high interest bonds and mortgages and lending institutions that had all this stuff on the books called junk. It was called junk for a reason, because I never expected it to ever be technically paid off, because it was a ridiculous rate to start with. But while the getting was good, that's what they did. You can't blame the banks for doing it or anyone else that was selling these bonds at these high rates. Hey, if they're stupid enough to pay it, let's get some of that. But what happened at the end of the day, I can't sustain that rate anymore. So what does a smart businessman like a Donald Trump do? He renegotiates the loan. Now, you might call it, there's a fundamental thing in law called bankruptcy that gives a lot of leverage to a creditor to renegotiate his terms of any loan he may owe. Because if you file bankruptcy, you can get out from underneath that loan altogether, and that's a lot of leverage to put on the guy that loaned you the money. So he'd probably have a propensity to renegotiate, particularly if what you're proposing is reasonable in conjunction with whatever the market is when the renegotiation's going on. Now, Donald Trump's done that in the past. He's taken advantage of some of the laws. That's not breaking laws. That's using the laws for the purpose that they were intended to be used for. And he saved a lot of jobs that way. He came out of whatever difficulties that were going on with these high interest rates. He succeeded at that and went on from there. And today he's a multi-billionaire, very successful, flies around in one of the nicest private jets a person could have. And the guy has a lot of class and a lot of moxie when it comes to doing business deals and negotiating and so forth. He's considered one of the best negotiators in the world. So you need to pay attention, folks. This is the type of person we need as a leader. You compare him to a Hillary Clinton, and if she sticks around long enough, you'll be able to see that comparison very good, probably in the form of debates. I wouldn't expect too many of them because Hillary Clinton will be scared to death to take this man on side by side because she's going to get decimated, just decimated. He's got the goods on her, and she has so many goods. Donald Trump probably has warehouse full of information about this lady that he can use at any time. And it'll be devastating, devastating stuff. And I tell you what, she's going to have a health event to where she's going to get advice from her doctor to drop out of the race and for her own survival, for health reasons. And some of that may even be true because I don't think she's that healthy. I really don't. So we need to see what's going to happen. Donald Trump's over there in Europe today. Accidentally, he was scheduled to go there anyways. But look what day he shows up to be there is the day that they just had this big thing go on with the euro. I mean, what a coincidence, huh? Here's Donald Trump there in Scotland just as all this news breaks this morning, and he's there. Boy, talk about Johnny on the spot. Unbelievable. And where was Hillary Clinton? Not answering her phone again, I guess. She's probably come out with some stupid comment. I don't even look them up anymore. They're just really laughable. They're nothing to even pay any attention to. But anyways, folks, we'll see you again next week. Tune in, call in, and join up with the herd. We need help. We need members. We need people. We need to be a movement, an organization of we the people of this country so that we can get this country back. And once we do, we can make sure we keep it going in the right direction and we don't get sidetracked by these liberal, progressive, lying bastards anymore.